My sister used an AI voice to cancel my wedding, so I exposed her in front of everyone. I woke up the day before my wedding to 4 confirmation emails from vendors thanking me for calling to cancel. In every voicemail, I could hear my voice, calm, polite, calling off the wedding. One tiny detail, I never made those calls. I'm Alice, 28F, and I'm a project manager who color codes everything. My fiancé, Liam, 30M, is a high school physics teacher who collects vintage sci-fi paperbacks and says Roger that unironically. We are those people who keep detailed spreadsheets for groceries and vacation itineraries. So naturally, I kept a wedding command center, budgets, timelines, vendor contacts, sample menus, and backup plans labeled A through G. My older sister, Hazel, 33F, has always been the big personality in our family, the kind of person who walks into a room and everything swivels. She runs a mid-sized event planning account on Instagram and TikTok. A year ago, when we got engaged, she insisted on helping with our wedding. "You'd be crazy not to use me," she said, smiling too widely. "It'll be my gift. And I need content." At first it seemed sweet, she had vendor discounts, she knew timelines, she'd done dozens of weddings. But helping became owning. Every conversation started with, "My followers will love," or "I've been dying to try a statement aisle with suspended orbs." Whenever I gently pushed back, Hazel turned brittle. "You don't get it," she'd say, "this is how weddings work now. It's not just about you two. It's a moment." I wish I'd listened to the chill in my stomach then. 2 weeks before the wedding, a florist emailed, "Hi Alice, confirming your voicemail that you're reconsidering color palette and possibly postponing." Postponing? I called immediately. The florist apologized. She said I had left a voicemail, me, with my bright, clipped phone voice, asking to keep the deposit but pause proceedings. I thought, glitch, misunderstanding, crossed wires. I told Hazel. She rolled her eyes. "Vendors are flaky, babe. I'll handle." Then it happened again. The rental company thanked me for scaling down, the venue asked us to confirm the new headcount of 18, and Liam's suit tailor sent a short, concerned text, "Sorry to hear. Come in anyway, happy to hold the tux." Liam frowned at his phone. "Did you, text me last night?" he asked. "No," I said. He held up the screen. It was a DM from my Instagram, feeling unsure. "Don't tell anyone." The timestamp, 1:37 a.m. I was asleep next to him at 1:37 a.m. I checked my account. No sent DM. No login alerts. My password hadn't changed. Another DM, this time to my maid of honor, Priya, was a short voice note that sounded exactly like me. "I think I'm making a mistake. Please, keep this between us." Priya had already replied, "Are you okay?" And then messaged our group chat, worried. I buried a burst of panic and typed, "That's not me. I didn't send that." Hazel sent a string of OMG messages that somehow centered her. "You guys, this is why brides shouldn't be online so close to the big day. It's so messy. Alice, log off, I'll do the adulting." I muted her. The day before the wedding, my phone buzzed awake like a fire alarm. 4 vendors thanked me for canceling, politely and in my own, unmistakable voice. The chef attached a voicemail file for reference because I sounded distressed in the call. "Hi, it's Alice. I can't do this. Please cancel Saturday. I understand about the deposit. I'm so sorry." It was my timbre, my rhythm, that slight inhale I do before please. But the wording was off, too theatrical, like someone trying to sound upset. I paced our living room, hands shaking. Liam grabbed the laptop. "We're fixing this. We're calling everyone right now." We called the chef, the florist, the venue, the DJ. Each one had a voicemail from me or a call from a number that matched the last 4 digits of my phone. Spoofed. The venue manager said there had also been a follow-up email from my address confirming the cancellation. My email. Not a spoof. Not a lookalike. My exact handle. Because it was my email. A forwarded chain appeared in my sent folder, marked with a label I didn't create, just _breathe. The earlier part of the thread was missing. How is that possible? Liam said. Two-factor, backup codes. Backup codes are in my desk, I said. Printed. He stared at me. Where in your desk? Top drawer, folder tabbed wedding login and codes. Color-coded. Labeled. Convenient for a saboteur. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Priya, breathless. Al, someone posted in your bridal Facebook group from an account named Alisalt, same profile photo, same header, saying you need space and the wedding is off. The comments are a mess. People are DMing me. I sat down. The room tilted. For a full, surreal minute I heard Hazel's voice from last month teasing me for printing the backup codes. Oh my God, you're so analog, Alice. What if someone finds them? At least hide the sheet. Put it in a book or something. And then casually closing my desk drawer. I looked at Liam. I think I know who. He looked at me back, very carefully. Say it. I swallowed. Hazel. He exhaled once through his nose. Okay. We need to be more than right. We need proof. Hazel isn't dumb. She wouldn't leave obvious fingerprints. She'd be careful with devices, with logins, with IPs. But people like Hazel always leave style prints, habits they don't notice because they live in their own show. I replayed the chef voicemail. Then the florist. Then the tailor. Something itched. There, I said, pointing. She says, could you kindly cancel Saturday? I never say kindly on a call. That's email Alice. Also, I sign off emails to strangers with best, Alice. In the venue email, I wrote warmly, A. Who signs warmly, A? Hazel does, on every post-wedding brand pitch. Also, Liam added, scrolling, you always write numbers with hyphens, like 3 to 4 p.m., and this has 3 p.m. That's Hazel. It wasn't enough. Call it manager brain, but I didn't want a family blow-up based on vibes and hyphens. I wanted receipts. My cousin Sam, 26M, is the quiet one at gatherings, the guy who fixes the Wi-Fi without announcing it. He does audio tech for a community theater and runs a little side gig cleaning up podcast audio. I sent him the voicemails. He texted 5 minutes later, call me. I put him on speaker. Those voicemails have AI fingerprints, he said. English, please, I said, pinching my nose. Listen carefully, Sam said. He played the file again and isolated 2 words, please and sorry. Hear that little metallic smear on the S? Natural reverb doesn't do that on a phone mic. Also the breath cadences, off. Whoever generated this used a fairly clean training sample, like a podcast clip or long voice note. It's you, but it's not you. I sat up straighter. Can you prove it? I can show spectral anomalies. But the stronger route is to make them slip in public. Give them a marker to repeat and catch it. I knew what that meant. A sting. We set 3 traps. Trap 1, the word. I added a subtle tell into my next vendor message, a nonsense word I never use, embedded in a slightly stressed but normal email to the chef. We're keeping the menu as is. I just had a last-minute scare with a honey thief invite code for our RSVP site, ignore me, it's fixed. Only Liam and I knew that word. Trap 2, the decoy vendor. Sam spun up a fake vendor alias, Acacia Altars, with a real phone number that forwarded to him. I emailed the decoy from my account asking for last-minute chairs. I BCC'd a new, clean address Liam had just created, alice.wedding.log@, so we could track replies. If I cancelled anything with the decoy, we'd see it. Trap 3, the safe zone call. I set my phone to record all calls from unknown numbers, legal in our state with consent. The voicemail intro included this line: records for training. We also left my printed backup codes exactly where they'd been. And we told no one, not even Priya. Then we waited. Within 3 hours, the decoy vendor got a voicemail from me, breathy, polite, asking to cancel because I have cold feet. Sam texted the file. At 0:12, the voice said, "We had that honey thief chaos with the RSVP, the trap had sprung." Sam messaged, "Gotcha." I don't know if I wanted to laugh or cry. Both, probably. Proving an AI voice was something, proving it was Hazel was everything. We needed motive, easy, means, access, knowledge, and opportunity, timelines. Motive was the sad part. Hazel's whole brand had plateaued. Engagement was down. She craved a viral wedding. Ours had become her passion project. We kept refusing bits that felt like spectacle: no coordinated flash mobs, no flower-clad arch, no choreographed couple slapstick. She mocked our boring choices in DMs to mutual friends. Priya showed me later Alice is allergic to fun. Imagine beige if it were a person. That alone wasn't motive to nuke a wedding. But Hazel also had history with Liam, nothing romantic, just that she liked being the center of every room. When Liam didn't orbit her, she bristled. She'd joke that he was low vibe for a groom. He laughed her off. Hazel doesn't forgive people who don't perform for her. Means were easy. Hazel had been in our apartment dozens of times helping. She knew where the desk was. She teased me about printed codes. She had copies of vendor lists. She had my email on her phone. I'd once logged in to show her the timeline on her iPad. I thought I logged out. Opportunity was everywhere. The vendor calls spiked late nights, when we were asleep, and mid-afternoons when I was at fittings. Hazel's story showed her editing reels at 2 a.m. I felt ridiculous reading her timestamped stories like a detective, but there it was, a 1:40 a.m. story with a cappuccino and up late dizzy-face Dizzy, the same night the DMs hit at 1:37. None of this would be court-level proof. But coupled with Honey Thief? It smelled like certainty. Thursday afternoon, less than 36 hours to go, our venue manager, Rowan, called me with a voice that sounded like she'd bitten a lemon. "Alice, I just received a notice from the city. Health inspection, tomorrow. We may have to close for deep sanitation." My heart fell through the floor. "What?" "We saw your last inspection report. You were A-rated." "We are," Rowan said. "Which is why this email is odd. The address is cityinspections.com, not .gov. It references a complaint from the bride." From the bride. I felt a laugh bubble up, not funny at all. "Forward it," I said. I forwarded it to Sam. He replied in 30 seconds, "Disposable domain. Registered yesterday. Hosted on a cheap bulk provider out of state." Hazel, trying again. I called Rowan back. "It's fake," I said. "We can prove it at the rehearsal dinner. Please don't cancel anything." Rowan inhaled. "I believe you. What do you need from me?" I needed a stage. Friday at 6 p.m., our rehearsal dinner began on the venue's patio under strings of cafe lights, the air warmed by late summer. Everyone gathered: bridesmaids, groomsmen, my parents, Dad twitchy, Mom powdery calm, Liam's family, his mom hugged me twice, and Hazel in a crisp white jumpsuit like a Tonight Show guest. She was glowing, the kind of glow that feeds on crisis. "You must be so stressed," she said, kissing the air near my cheek. "If you need me to take anything off your plate, say the word." "Thank you," I said, and meant, "You already took enough." Rowan had let me set a laptop and portable projector by the wall. We planned a short thank you slideshow. Everyone loves a slideshow. Liam tapped his glass. "Before we eat," he said, "we wanted to thank you for being here and show a few behind-the-scenes moments." The first slide was a candid of us painting the thrifted ceremony sign. Everyone awed. Second slide, me testing chair heights. Third slide. A screenshot of the health inspector email, subject line, urgent, sanitation violation, immediate closure, with the suspicious domain highlighted. Murmurs. Heads tilted. I stepped forward, heart hammering so hard I could feel it in my gums. We've had a weird week, I said. Vendors received cancellations I never made. My maid of honor got a voice note from me I never sent. A fake inspector tried to close this venue. Someone worked hard to make it look like I didn't want to get married tomorrow. Hazel laughed lightly. Bizarre, she said to the table at large. People are unhinged. I clicked to the next slide, the honey thief email to the chef, circled in blue. We planted a marker word, I said. Something I never say. Then we waited. Liam cued audio. Sam had cleaned the cancellation voicemail to the decoy vendor. It played over a speaker, my voice, calm, apologetic. I have cold feet. We also had that honey thief chaos with the RSVP, so. The word hung there. Dumb, distinctive. People looked around, confused, startled. My mom whispered honey thief? To my dad. Priya's eyes were wide. I clicked to the next slide, a screen recording of the decoy email inbox with timestamps that matched Hazel's late-night editing story. Then, for the finale, Sam had created a side-by-side spectrogram of my real voice note. I recorded one on the spot that morning, and the AI-voiced cancellation. Different breath noise, metallic artifacts around sibilance. It looked like two different weather maps. This is an AI clone of my voice, I said, my voice shaking but steady. Someone used it to call vendors and to send fake messages. Someone with access to my printed backup codes, to my desk, to my calendar. Dead silence. A car hissed past on wet pavement somewhere beyond the fence. Hazel set her napkin down carefully. Are you accusing me? She said, eyes bright with offended tears. If the shoe fits, Priya muttered. I didn't answer. Not yet. Instead, I clicked to the last slide, a contact sheet of screenshots, Hazel's DMs mocking our boring choices, her editing at 1:40 a.m. Story, a Venmo payment from Hazel to an account called at Voxylab with a memo rush voices, and then, the kicker, a video Sam took that afternoon, recorded from his phone as he stood down the block from Hazel's apartment. In it, Hazel walked into a shipping store and printed something. The camera zoomed when she tossed the printout, my backup codes page, complete with the yellow highlighter I use and my handwriting notes, into a shred bin by the door. Hazel shot to her feet. Are you stalking me now? She said, voice rising. This is insane. You're sick. You used my codes, I said. You used my voice. My dad stood slowly. Hazel, he said, voice low. Tell me this isn't true. Hazel looked around the table. In her eyes I saw something furious and very old. Something that had sat inside her since we were kids, whenever a teacher praised my neat binder or someone said I had nice handwriting. You were always the good one, Alice, she said, voice cracking. The neat one. The safe one. Everyone listens to you. You get everything. I thought, if you panicked, if you cancelled, if you had a story, maybe my content would blow up and you'd finally loosen up and let me help. You tried to cancel my marriage for content? Liam said, quiet. She flinched. It wasn't, it was supposed to be a pivot. We would do a reunion wedding in fall. A reveal video. We'd trend. I think every fork on the patio scraped a plate all at once. The sound was tiny, awful. My mom put a hand to her mouth. Hazel, baby. And the health inspector? Rowan asked, cool as steel. Hazel's chin lifted. That was a test, she said. Of what? I asked. How much disaster I would swallow without calling you out. Hazel's eyes filled. For a long moment I thought she would apologize, cry, fall into my arms the way sisters do in movies. Instead, she knocked over her chair and walked out. No one breathed for 10 seconds. Then my father followed. He returned 5 minutes later alone, eyes red. "She's gone," he said softly. "She called a rideshare." Dinner resumed in broken murmurs. People hugged me, then gave space. Priya slipped a glass of water in front of me like a bodyguard. Liam kept a hand on my back. Rowan whispered, "I've already called each vendor to reconfirm. We're a go." That night, I lay in bed, eyes open to the ceiling, waiting for the throb in my chest to dim. At 1:19 a.m., my phone buzzed. A voicemail. I didn't move. At 1:26, another buzz, text from my stepdad, Walt, 62M, a man who never texts past 9 and speaks in tidy, necessary sentences. "I think I have something you should hear in the morning. Don't worry. W. Walt married my mother when I was 13, after my father's midlife meltdown and divorce. Hazel never forgave him for being steady, for trimming hedges on Saturdays, for teaching me how to change a tire. He never forced closeness. He showed up. At 7:30 a.m., he was already at the venue with coffee, somehow wearing a tie that matched our palette exactly. He handed me a small USB drive. "Don't be mad," he said. "2 weeks ago, I stopped by the house while you were out to drop off the cake stand your mother borrowed." Hazel was in the driveway, talking on her phone. She didn't see me. She was loud. He coughed. "I record bird calls on my phone. It's a hobby." I pressed record. On the drive, Hazel's voice, clear as a bell in the echoey wash of a driveway. "No, I have the codes," she printed them like a Victorian. "I'm doing the inspector note tonight and the rest tomorrow." "No, she'll forgive me. She always forgives me. The redemption arc will slap." Walt grimaced. I didn't know how to bring it up without causing a blow-up. I thought maybe she'd stop. "I'm sorry." I hugged him, hard. "You didn't cause this," I said into his shoulder. "You saved us." Unexpected hero, indeed. We got married under a crooked willow in late afternoon light, the air syrupy with August. The chairs were there. The flowers were there, claustrophobic peonies and clumsy ranunculus, because I had changed my mind last minute and decided chaos flowers felt right after all. Our friend Mina played the cello. Priya cried on cue. When Liam said "I do," a little sun skittered across his iris and lodged there. I believed that light all the way down. Hazel did not come. She sent no text, no apology. My mother cried in the ladies' room between the ceremony and the toasts, and I held her until her breath evened. "She'll need time," Mom said. I nodded and didn't trust my mouth. At the reception, someone's uncle did an enthusiastic lawn sprinkler dance. The DJ played Liam's teacher lounge favorite, the one he pretends to hate, and he loved it loudly. Halfway through the night, Rowan slipped me a sealed envelope with 4-year records in neat handwriting. Inside, a printed timeline of vendor calls with 2 columns, fraudulent and confirmed, initialed by each vendor. There was also a small printed photo, security cam still, of Hazel dropping the paper into the shred bin. I didn't ask Rowan how she got it. Event managers have their ways. At last call, Priya clinked her glass. "Everyone says marriage is about compromise," she said. "But to me, it's about celebration. Today, we celebrate choosing each other over noise. Over spectacle. Over sabotage. To Alice and Liam, noisy family, quiet strength." Everyone cheered. I cried. Liam put his forehead against mine and said, "We made it," like people who just ran from a storm into a lit kitchen. The following week, Hazel's accounts posted bland brand deals and a set of stories about taking time for mental health with a photo of matcha and a journal. I waited for the apology text. It didn't come. Our father called to ask if I wanted to press charges for identity fraud. I said I wanted space. He cried, soft little leak sounds, and said he was ashamed he hadn't seen it. 2 weeks later, an email arrived from Boxy Lab. "Your account has been flagged for suspicious activity and promotional abuse. Please review our acceptable use policy. It listed Hazel's email. I don't know how they found me. Maybe Rowan, maybe Sam, maybe Heaven has a compliance desk. Then a package arrived on our stoop. No return address. Inside, a manila envelope and my printed backup codes page, taped back together, from the shred bin, I guess. On the bottom, in Hazel's tidy calligraphy, I went too far. No sorry. No love. Just that. I put the page in a box with my veil and the favor tags. I don't know what to do with that kind of almost apology. It's like a check written in invisible ink. As for Walt, he came over last Sunday with a new bird call he was excited about, wood thrush, liquid and fluted, and a 6-pack of the fancy soda Liam likes. We sat on our tiny balcony and listened to a city try to be a forest for 3 minutes. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear practical sneakers and clip ivy. Sometimes I replay the decoy voicemail just to remind myself how like me and not me it sounds. That's what sabotage often is, someone rearranging your own pieces until you don't recognize the picture. But we put the pieces back. They make a different picture now, maybe a truer one. Liam says we should frame the spectrogram next to a wedding photo. Science and art, he jokes. He's not entirely wrong. And when people ask about our wedding story, I tell the short version. We almost didn't have one. Then we did.